Good morning to everyone. I am Dr. G. Vennila, Assistant Professor of History, the Standard Fire Oaks Rajaratnam College for Women, Sivagasi. The topic today we are going to learn is revenue administration in British India. So let us enter into the topic. British India, British people, they drained the wealth of India in many ways. That is, one of the method is land revenue system. They got the major source of income of British from India is land revenue system only. So it has been collected in three types. Land revenue system they have collected in three types, and each administrators they introduce one method. So before independence there are three major systems. We are saying about before independence. That is, I mean British period. The three major systems are Zamindari system, Maghalwari system, Rightwari system. Few other minor systems also there, but these three systems are the major that occupied some impact in draining of the wealth. So the basic difference of these three items can be learned here. First one is Zamindari system. The Zamindari system was introduced by Lord Cornwallis. It was introduced in the year 1793. Through permanent settlement. Permanent settlement means they made some settlement as a permanent basis. Let us see what happens. So under this Zamindari system, the land revenue was collected from the farmers by the intermediary known as Zamindars. So the Zamindars, they become intermediates. They collect tax from these people, peasants, common people, and hand over it to British. So the percentage of the revenue collection is 10 out of 11. So if they earn 11 means they have to pay the 10, among the 11 they have to pay the 10 to the Zamindars. That means if a person earn 11,000 means they have to pay the 10,000 to the Zamindars. So this is the system of Zamindari method of collecting revenue in Zamindari system. The system was most prevalent in West Bengal, Bihar, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh. In few other states also it's prevalent. Now let us see about the issues with the Zamindari system. That means some problems arise in Zamindari system. For the cultivators, it is segregated into three divisions: for the cultivators and for the Zamindars and for the company. So and also at that time in 1793 and all British East India companies and take in charge of administering India, so not the British crown. So at that period for the cultivators they face the issue, that is they consider this as an oppressive and exploitative of the system of the cultivators. So as they have to pay rent for the land and it is very high. Well, his right on the land was quite insecure. So that means they have to pay the land revenue in very high percentage, but they were not sure that the land will be under their control for the next year also. So this is the problem prevailed there. And next one is for the Zamindars. For the Zamindar also same trouble, that is they have to pay high tax to the company. So if they fail to pay the tax means they will lost the Zamindari, credit of Zamindari. So that means they lose, they will not be the Zamindar in future. So this is the problem of the Zamindars. And what is the problem of the company means, for the first decade of 19th century, the cultivation is very slowly expanded and price arose in the market. So they feel that this income is not enough for the company from the land revenue. So these are all the problems faced by the farmers, Zamindars and the company. Now let us pass on to the next system, that is Rightwari system. In the British territory of South India, there was move away from the idea of permanent settlement. That is, they don't like to have such type of permanent settlement like Zamindaris, and a new system has been introduced, that is Rightwari system. The system has been devised by Captain Alexander Reed and Sir Thomas Munro in the 18th century and introduced by the later in Madras Presidency. So under this Rightwari system, the land revenue was paid by the farmers directly to the state In this system, the individual cultivators were called as ryots. So that means here no mediators like zamindars. In this rightwari system, there is no mediators like zamindars. So they can pay the revenue directly to the company. In this system, the individual cultivators are called as ryots, had full rights regarding sales, transfer and lease of the land. So we can differentiate that in zamindari system they don't have full rights on the land and it is insecure about the land, and in rightwari system they have full rights on the land. The rights could not be evicted from their land as long as they paid the rent. So they paid the rent for certain years. So for certain years they cannot be evicted. It was prevalent in most of South India, first introduced in Tamil Nadu, that means Madras Presidency. It was later extended to Maharashtra, Bihar, East Punjab, Coorg and Assam. The advantage of the system were the elimination of middlemen who often oppressed villagers. So the middlemen, they oppress the villagers and there is no necessity of that middleman. Next, the issues. What are all the issues faced by the rightwari systems? Means this system gave much power to subordinate revenue officials whose activities were inadequately supervised. The system was dominated by the Mahajans and money lenders who granted loans to cultivators for mortgaging the land. That means the land has been permanently given to the farmer for certain years, so they can sell or they can give lease, but the cultivators, they get loan from the money lenders. The money lenders exploited the cultivators and evicted them from the land in case of loan default. So in time of famine and some other natural calamities, they were not able to pay the loan. So at that time, the money lenders, they exploited the cultivators and they evicted them from the land. The next system, third one, is the Mahalwari system. So by the early 19th century, the company officials were convicted that the system of revenue had been changed. That is some problems between this zamindaris and rightwari system. So the one new system has been introduced. This was introduced in 1822 by an Englishman, Hall Mackenzie. So he introduced a new system, Mahalwari, in northwest provinces of Bengal Presidency. So we all know that at that time Madras Presidency, Bengal Presidency and Bombay Presidency are the trading centers of the, revenue centers of British. So they used this Bengal province for introducing this Mahalwari system. So under the Mahalwari system, the land revenue was collected from the farmers by the village headman and on behalf of the whole village. So on behalf of the whole village, instead of these zamindars, like the zamindars, but not exactly as zamindars, some another person, that is village headman. They collected the land revenue for the whole village and they produce it to the British company. The entire village was converted into one biggest unit, that is called Mahal. Hence it was called as Mahalwari system. So the Mughals, the Mughal has an headman and he collected the revenue and he handed over it to the British. And these Mughals are the biggest unit of a village, and village headman is a mediator, almost like the zamindaris, but not exactly like a zamindar, but it is also a type of middleman. And the system was popularized by Lord William Bentinck in Agra and Awadh and was later extended to Madhya Pradesh and Punjab. So in middle part of India it has been extended. So now let us see about the issues with the Mahalwari system. A major drawback of the system was that the survey was practically based on faulty assumption which left a space of manipulation and corruption. So when there is a middleman, it automatically comes about the manipulation and corruption. So as like that in Mahalwari system also, the revenue has been not properly collected and it is not properly handed over to the company. So this system is also a failure system. So among these three systems, the zamindari system and rightwari system extended for a little time period, and the Mahalwari system is not extended for a long time. So up to this we can conclude this lesson. Thank you.